Okay, this is a 306. I'm going to demonstrate how to get in here and repair this diagonal. It's one of our smallest rigs, so as you can see, we've got the deluxe back pad foam. Everything is going to make it more difficult for the rigger to do the repair. If this zigzag stitching down here is beginning to come out, right? Most riggers just have a hard time getting down in there. I'm going to show you how I would do it. First thing we do is start pulling everything out of the way and make sure everything's back. As you can see, this is one of our cutaway rigs, so we have quite a bit of extra plumbing in there. So basically, what I do is I lay it on the table like this. I start working my way back. I swipe my hand underneath on a regular basis just to ensure there's nothing there. And I get it to right here to where now I can see the zigzagging. Right? Then I start to work it right up in there like this. Take a pair of needle nose, reach up in here, grab a good deep chunk of the diagonal and pull it out, and I just continue to work my way back in. Normally, the damage of the zigzagging won't be past halfway. If it is, I just work my way back. I'll just work my way all the way back up into there to where the damage begins. Sometimes you have to go all the way back. And from there, we'll just start our zigzag. I've removed a thread on here because, as you can see, there's no damage on this rig, and I really don't want to add more zigzags because we'll probably continue to use this for a lot of test programs in the future. So what I'll do is I'll come up in here, I'll do my zigzag, stop at the edge, back up to where I started, go again. A lot of times while I'm right here, I'll go ahead and turn and do my first north-south stitch. So I'll turn it this way. I'll sew up to there. Back up. Sew again. Back up. Plant my needle down in my work. Turn my work again. One more last look underneath to ensure there's nothing else being sewn. Take my needle nose, reach up in here, grab a good chunk of that diagonal carefully and pull it out so I've got some slack. I'm going to continue on to the front. When I get to there, I'm going to stop, leave the needle planted down in, rotate it this way, pull everything out of the way. And now I'm going to sew down so I can finish that stitch pattern up front. Back up, second set. And then I'll pull my work out, snip all of my threads, immediately check this side, and as you can see, what we would have seen, the damage right here probably would have been back into here. What I did is I backed back into here, I did my first pass, I came back here, I sewed to here, I stopped, planted the needle, and did a north-south stitch pattern. Came back to the here, sewed to the top, turned the corner, and I run the north-south stitch pattern again right there. Now this is the jumper's right side of the canopy. As you can see, this is a 306, and that wasn't really too difficult. I could do these all day. Okay, you just see me do the jumper's right side of the harness. Now we're going to have it go doing the jumper's left side. Right? We're just going to imagine that there's probably some damage here. We're just going to imagine that zigzag stitching down in here, right in here, we're going to say that is beginning to work its way back, probably from a hard opening or something. But now we got to get in there and fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb in there. And once again, as you can see, this is a 306. It's one of our cutaway rigs. We've got extra cables in here. This is not an easy rig for, you know, the average jumper in the field to repair, or rigger. So I get it under here. As you can see, we stripped everything out of it so that we can get in here. This is the side that will be affected after we do the repair. Once again, I've removed the threads here because this rig doesn't have any damage, and I really don't want to add a whole lot of stitching because this is a rig that we do want to use again for our test programs. So I'm going to take my time. I'm just going to work it back in here. You can see me fish my finger up in here and get a hold of the diagonal, and I'm going to start working it out. Okay, now that I'm on this side, I'm going to sweep under here. I'm going to have one look underneath. Now we can see there's nothing underneath. Okay, now we can see the stitching. If this had damage, these stitches would have been fatigued and pulling out. And I've got it at my starting point. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to just set my presser foot down and hold the tails, and I'm going to start sewing over where the zigzag damage would have been. I cleaned it out, and I'm going to probably sew to about 1/8 of an inch past. About 1/8 of an inch past where the damage would have stopped. Get it right down in there. Then I'm going to lift my presser foot. I'm going to back up again. Go back to the beginning. Start again. I want to pull a little more room out because I want to do my north-south stitches in a minute here. When I get up to here, I'm going to sew back. I'm about to the middle. There's no way we're going to be able, on this small of a rig, to get all the way down to the end. So you can forget about the north-south stitch patterns all the way on the end. It ain't going to happen. Turn our work. Let's move the light so that we can see that now I'm down in here. I'm going to do the first north-south stitch pattern. Let's see. There's the first one. Back up. There's the second pass. I'm going to stop. I'm going to lift my presser foot up. I'm going to slide everything over to here. Now I'm going to do the last one. After that second pass over the top, I'm going to pull my thread out, lift this up. First thing I'm going to do is pull it out this way. I'll probably snip all my threads from this side. I'll just get in here because we'll have our tails. We're going to have everything that was damaged is going to have new stitching in that area with probably about a 1/4 inch overstitch. Then we're going to have our north-south stitch patterns running down the middle here, and then you would have seen the north-south stitch pattern there. That nails this in really good. And that's how we do the more difficult side, which is the jumper's left side. On this, we pull it back out. This rig's ready to go back in the field.